it all started with a girl. And she was a cutie. She knew I was interested in her. We shared a couple of beers, talked, and got a bit physical. I went up to her when she was about to leave and asked her if she wanted to meet up again sometime. And then she just walked away while still laughing really loudly.
Let's go to the club this weekend. I'll invite Sophie and some of the others. How about it?
We met at the club downstairs. I started to interrupt Kevin's monologue, which was a mistake.
What you gonna do? Make videos about how to make fried rice and do kung fu?
So everyone was laughing at his jabs towards me, and I had 4 options. Roast him back, laugh with the group, show that I'm insulted, or say nothing. And I chose, Kevin and me worked together and we were tight, like bros. We do playfully insult each other most of the time, but his insults that night was way over the line, especially when he knew my crush was sitting right there laughing along. I don't believe that what Kevin did that night was on accident, cause his people skills are way too good for that. He knew what he was doing, and I don't know what hurt more, the humiliation or the fact that someone I trusted and looked up so much was doing this to me. I was definitely not comfortable with any of that, and I should have called him out, but I didn't. What I lacked that evening was self-respect. And self-respect is to not have them make fun of you in the first place. Don't just say nothing, don't laugh along. Just tell them, in an honest and calm, non-blaming manner, to back off. Show them your boundaries and hold your ground. Kevin, I don't really appreciate those jokes because I feel mocked. I would like to ask you to stop.
Oh, come on. I was just messing around.
I don't care. It's insulting to me, so please stop. Also, Sophia, I've already accepted your rejection. No need to act all dismissive. Now, I don't know how Kevin and Sophia would have responded to this, cause as much as I wish I did, I never said those things to them. If you let them make fun of you the first time, you have already showed them how far they can go with you. So don't let them make fun of you the first time. And if they make fun of you even after you told them to stop, then you really need to leave that toxic group of friends. Some people tell me they're too nice to say anything. Too nice is an excuse to not stand up for yourself. You gotta defend yourself. You gotta defend your honor. Give them the old one too, you know? Kevin also started talking about our team.
Kurt, Urgin, Sophie, the newbie of our team.
He would mention Sophia's name a couple of times, but he always got it wrong. I looked at Sophia and I felt like I saw a hint of sadness in her face. The guy she admired didn't even remember her name correctly. Hey, Kevin, her name is pronounced Sophia.
Sophie, Sophia, whatever, it's the same.
Don't worry about it, Kevin. It doesn't matter.
Oh boy. When Kevin went off to buy the table some more booze, Sophia turned to me and said in her usual unmoved demeanor that I was the only one to get her name right. Just like always, I really couldn't tell what this girl was feeling or thinking. And everyone actually started to think her name was Sophie after Kevin called her name wrong so many times. I looked at Sophia with all the sympathy I had left for her and just said, sucks to be you. I really didn't know what else to say, and honestly, after all those years, I have forgotten myself if her name was Sophie or Sophia. All this bullshittery really hit a nerve with me that night, and I walked away from this group. Problem was that Kevin bought a lot of booze for our table. The rest of the evening was a complete blur to me. Those are the things I remember. Kind of. I found myself sitting and drinking next to 2 women I never met before. When I got up to pee, I couldn't walk in a straight line anymore. I went to the men's bathroom for some reason. I was about to fall down on the floor, but I was not gonna touch the bathroom floor, so I leaned against the bathroom wall and slowly slid down, avoiding the club bathroom floor Michael Jackson style. I assume 2 coworkers saw my wobbly walk and came to see if I was okay. The security picked me up from the men's bathroom and piggybacked me out of the club. And then I got thrown into a taxi. The people seriously just gave my taxi driver the wrong address, but thankfully he confirmed with me if that was the correct address and I told him the correct one, even though I was barely conscious. My place wasn't too far away from the club, so it was not a long ride home.
We are here. €6, please.
I'm sorry, but can you help me get home? I think I'm unable to open the doors by myself.
Of course.
I'm sorry, but can you help me get home? I repeated this sentence probably 2 more times, and I really gotta credit this taxi driver to have such great patience with me. He parked his taxi and helped me get to my apartment. He was younger than the usual taxi drivers I knew. I would say not much older than me, even maybe in his mid-20s. I really had zero control over my own body at that point, and I had to ask him to take the keys out of my pocket to open the door. He took out my keys from my jacket and helped me up the stairs to my apartment door, which he helped me open again. I had $20 stuffed in my jeans pocket, and I wasn't able to get them out myself either, so I told him to reach in and just keep the rest as a thanks for helping me. I managed to get into my apartment alone, closed the door, and set myself on the floor. Then the scary thoughts creeped in. I drank too much. Am I getting an alcohol poisoning? Am I stuck in this state forever? Am I going to die? What if I fall asleep and choke on my puke? No one is here to help me. I'm going to die. What if I die? I'm going to die. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is what you call a panic attack. My chest felt heavy. It's like no matter how much I tried to breathe, it still felt like I couldn't get any air. I was struck with this intense fear of dying. I was sobbing on the floor. I didn't know how to make it stop. I wanted to call a friend, but top it all off, I seemed to have lost my phone in the club. I was alone. No one was here. I gave myself a moment and tried to calm my thoughts. How I dealt with my panic attack. Acknowledging that I was having a panic attack and I am not dying. Calm my breathing. Focus deeply on an object to keep my mind off the panic attack. Think positive thoughts. I really don't know how long I sat there. It felt like an hour. Maybe it was just 2 minutes. I was drunk, shaking, afraid, tried to calm myself down. I knew the reason for my panic attack. The moment I lose control over my body is the moment the panic sets in. I decided to take action. The goal was to sober up. Number 1. Water. Number 2, food. Number 3, time and sleep. I put a huge pint of water next to my bed and slowly dozed off into the slumberlands. The next day, Kevin texted me on Facebook that I left my phone at the club and he gave it to Sophie with a sly winky smiley. I met up with Sophia to get my phone and left immediately. She didn't seem like she wanted to talk to me either, and it was also the last time we ever saw each other. Because Sophia quit. From what I've heard, she screwed up some documents in front of her manager and she was going to fire Sophia on the spot. But Sophia decided to quit before they could fire her. That girl pulled that "you can't fire me cause I quit" card. Man, I always wanted to say that. During the same time, because of his unbeatable charisma, Kevin got promoted to the manager of his own gym, which means he won't be the deputy in our gym anymore. However, through a rumor I heard, the real unofficial version of why Kevin was transferred to another gym was not because he got promoted, it's because he started a relationship with a worker in our gym. And before you wonder, it wasn't Sophia. Kevin was never interested in Sophia. But that's not my story to tell. The day Kevin left our gym, peace has restored. Kevin still came over to our gym to work out sometimes because he lives close by and his girlfriend works there. However, you could tell that being a manager is way more work than being a deputy. The promotion really took a huge toll on him. He lost all of his muscle mass and looked tired every time he came by. I felt bad for him. He got a lot more quieter than he used to be. His reign in our gym was over. He had no control over me anymore. And I got to work at my peaceful gym for another year until another incident happened that made me resign. Alrighty, I hope you learned your lesson today. Never try dating your coworker while blindly trusting your deputy manager, or you will end up with a taxi driver carrying you home, followed by a panic attack. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. imitators idolize. I intimidate in an instant. I rise in an irate state. Juiced on my gems like Jericho's jogging George justly is just me writing my journals. Kindly I'm kindling all kinds of ink on. Carry clip tap Brits in my kingdom. Let me live a long life. Lyrical lessons is learn. Lame levels just lose to my livery. My mind makes marvelous move masses. Marvel and move many mock.